I'm going to show each team a photograph. You have to tell me whether the person in question is a musician or a serial killer. Alan, Anne and John, here is your first photo. Is this person a musician or a serial killer?
Anne?
Oh.
You've had quite a violent reaction to him.
I just think how many of the people I know could be in this contest. I don't know, man. I think he's a musician. What do you think?
You think he's a musician?
I think he looks like he's quite small.
Where are you heading with this, Detective Richardson?
Well, it's a fact that small people cannot kill. Yeah, so I think he's probably a musician.
That young gentleman there is a musician.
That is serial killer Chester Dwayne Turner.
He's obviously bigger than I thought.
Miss Steve and Dave, here's your photo. Musician or serial killer?
Yeah.
Oh,
He looks great.
He's a musician from Australia in the 80s, that guy. He's probably supported your band, this dude.
He's got every night he slays the audience.
I don't reckon he's a serial killer. He looks too. Well, hey, I'm charming and suave.
Although it could be a trick.
It could be a
He's
trick.
got awesome hair.
I think he's a killer.
All right, well, we'll go with you, Steve.
All right, he looks too much like a musician to be a musician, so
Okay.
we're going to go with serial killer.
That is serial killer Peter Manuel.
Yes!
Alan, Anne and John, here's your second photo. Musician or serial killer?
Oh,
He looks like a killer, so using Miff's logic that worked before, he'd be a musician. But we've had two serial killers in a row, and you'd expect there to be a musician, so then it should probably be a serial killer. OK. A straw poll.
I think he's a musician.
Musician.
I reckon that picture in colour, taken with a lovely sort of heathland behind it,
He's a sheep herder.
and like a sheepdog next to him and a little pipe. Lovely that's old Ray, that is, singing his songs.
OK. That man there is a farmer.
Option C.
Musician.
That is famous American folk singer, musician Tom Paxton.
He is.
Finally, Miss Steve and Dave, your final photo. Musician or serial killer?
He's got good hair.
he's got good hair. Could be a young musician.
Could be like a sort of 60s muso.
Yeah. What do you think, Steve? You hang out with these types.
I think that haircut is suggesting he's a musician, but I think he's a killer.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it that suggests it's a musician?
Because
Just
it's
the
got that
style?
kind of Beatley sort of hairstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's a killer.
I think they're trying to mislead us to think he's
Again.
yeah.
All right.
So,
Killer.
that is Academy Award-winning pianist, conductor and composer, musician Andre Previn. At the end of that round, the scores are Alan and John on 4 points, Miff, Steve, Dave in front, 11 points. One member of each team will be singing well-known songs using the words of an unrelated piece of text. Your teammates have to identify those songs. Anne, you'll be singing first for Alan and John, and you'll be taking your lyrics from the 1962 text Competition and Monopoly in the British Soap Industry by H.R. Edwards. That's your book, those are your songs, ladies and gentlemen, and friends.
Very well.
First song, please.
The point of departure is essentially the same as that of the classical fact of the separation of the total mark for a commodity in this sphere of industry and the absence of all this latter phenomena. Non.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know?
No, sorry.
That was Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. Oh my God.
Well, that was beautiful.
I really think we all had the same thing. When you started singing, everyone just in the room went, holy shit.
Imagine if she'd sung it with the lyrics, Let's Get It On. It's really... I think that the fact that the lyrics are about product differentiation is the only reason I'm not having a fag now.
Okay, song 2, please.
It is this awareness of the threat of new competition If prices are set too high, which governs the equilibrium tendency of the system, the controlling factor is the long-term consideration on the demand side. Elaborated.
Yes.
In a material world.
Final song, please.
The basic raw materials of the soap industry are natural oils and fats. In Great Britain, these are mainly imported, as discussed in more details elsewhere. This raw material is thus the principal component in the cost of production of soap, varying from the order of 50 to 80%.
If the buzzer doesn't work, how will we make her stop?
No, what was it? What was the song?
You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC.
Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, and Steve, you will now be singing for Miff and Dave, and you'll be taking your lyrics from Introduction to Terrariums by Barbara Joan Grubman. That's your book, those are your words. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Kilbey. Song one, please.
Am I allowed to sort of slightly sing it in a voice like the people who did it, or am I?
Sure.
Or not? Is that,
Yeah, of course.
Am I allowed to gesticulate?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I won't be doing anything. Choosing plants for your terrarium will prove a delightful and challenging job. Will they be small with dark green leaves? Or will the lacy look of a fern catch your fancy? Mix and match when you pick your plants, but just be sure that they need similar growing conditions. It is wise to consider the temperature and moisture requirements.
It's settle down, get a job, take it easy. You're no help, Miff or her. There's Cat Stevens, or it's like a folk singer.
It's one of the
Father and son? Is it Father and
Song two, please.
Next you will need a placer. These are needed only for the narrow-necked containers. Their function is to hold the plant while you lower it into the container. There are many which will work well, and you will find the best for you in a short time.
Yes.
Yes,
Somewhere.
it's Somewhere from West Side Story. Final song, please.
Okay. Taking a walk in the woods can be a fascinating botanical experience. Mosses, ferns and selaginellas and country lichens, all there to capture your eye. Any of these will survive in a moist atmosphere of a terrarium. If you are allowed to do so, take home plants from the woods, the forest or the park.
Yeah, it's David Bowie. Is it Spaceman or
No, it's
Space Odyssey? Oh, there's someone waving over there.
Starman.
What is it, Starman?
If you think you know what it is, give me a sign. Yes?
It's Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy Stardust is what I was looking for. Yes, Alan gets the point. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Kilbey. At the end of that round, the scores are Alan and John are on 7 points. Miff, Steve, Dave still in front, 13 points.
Here we come.
Teams, hands on your buzzers. 1 point for a correct answer, 1 point off for a wrong answer. Your questions start now. Revived in the 70s and featuring the song Tea for Two is the musical comedy No No... Yes?
Nanette.
Yes. In 2010, the English band that brought folk music to the top of the local charts... Yes?
Mumford and Son.
With Little Lion Man was whom? Mumford and Sons. In 1996, which American hip-hop act covered the Roberta Flack classic Killing Me Softly? Yes?
I know this.
The Fugees.
Yes.
The Fugees.
I knew
The
that.
2009 film Nowhere Boy is based on the teenage years, yes?
John Lennon.
Of which Beatle? John Lennon. How many times did Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee marry Pamela Anderson? Yes.
Oh, let's
Few.
see. A couple of times. I think probably
It'd be at least twice, though. They've been made twice.
on the beach. slutty outfit, awesome.
Yeah. Then there was on the boat,
Once.
wasn't there?
Yes, once.
Oh, well done.
In the Aussie crawl song Beautiful People, the garden's full of furniture, the house is full of what? Yes.
Plants.
Plants, yes. How many A's are there in Bananarama?
Now we have to count.
Yeah, hold on a sec.
B-A-N-A.
Yeah, write it down.
Five. Yeah, 5.
Yes, 5. Your final question.
Oh, OK, we can still make it.
Final question, true or false? In June 2000... Yes.
We got a 50% chance.
Go on, I'll give you this if you get it right.
It started off with in June 2000 and something, and there's definitely been one of those. It must be true.
The rest of the question was, in June 2009, the B-52's frontman Fred Schneider officially announced that the band were dropping the apostrophe from their name, thus changing it from the B-52s to the B-52s without an apostrophe. And that was indeed true. So at the end of the show, the final scores were Alan and John made it up to 11 points, but Miff, Steve, Dave won the day, 17 points. Would you please thank all our guests for tonight, Anne Vreend, John Richardson, Steve Kilbey and Dave O'Neill. And of course our 2 team captains, Alan Bro and Miff Warhurst. We'd like to leave you tonight with the cast of the improv theatre hit Spontaneous Broadway as they give us a musical recap of tonight's show. Thanks for watching Spicks and Specks. My name's Adam Hills. Good night, Australia.
This is the end of the show. The finish is where we are. We're glad that you've come. We hope you've had fun. It's sad, but we must say ta-ta.
Miff had the brains, Steve is a star. Dave did a strip and showed us his scar.
Alan Bro's team, to lose was your fate, but it's not as shit as saying, good onion, mate.
And our host is loved by the kids and bogies, but we want to see him host the Logie. We don't like to stay here forever, but now is the right time to go. You've just been watching Spicks and Specks, and this is the end of the show.